the chiefs of the Air Force, the Navy are currently at the Lok Kalyan Marg at the Prime Minister's residence. The Army Chief is also there. The CDS is also meeting the Prime Minister. These meetings that are now being taking place, of course, since the last a few days, ever since the launch of Operation Sindoor, even before that, we are looking at back-to-back meetings that have been taking place. Let's get in a word from Pragya, who is joining us live right now. Pragya, another round of back-to-back meetings, please. Please update to us who all are now participating in this meeting.
Absolutely, the Tri-Services Chief, Air Force Chief, Navy Chief and Army Chief, including CDS and NSA, Mr. Ajit Doval, all are present in the meeting. Rajnath Singh, Defence Minister, just reached at 7 LKM. They are in a huddle, the meeting is going on. And remember what Foreign Secretary said last evening, said that India has taken a very, very serious note of the violation. Remember, the call came from Pakistan DGMO, they wanted a ceasefire, we agreed to it. And after agreeing to it, we saw how they violated the ceasefire. There were some kind of tense environment on the border areas of Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar. Drones were intercepted. So all of that has been taken into consideration, and we are also evaluating the situation. There are many intelligence input that India has, and that probably is going to be shared in the meeting with Prime Minister. Ultimately, the call will be of the Prime Minister, but how to achieve what Prime Minister would want and all what the Tri-Services Chief and CDS would suggest is also going to be taken into consideration. Apart from that, if the ceasefire continues, the deal between the two nuclear-powered nations, both Pakistan and India, if that continued, then it means that you have to also have terms and references and conditions for that deal of ceasefire. So, and India has made it very clear, this is just about the ceasefire and nothing else. We will, Indus Water Treaty will be in abeyance. All the ban that we had on the visas and having Pakistan nationals in India, that will continue. Even the trade relation will also be suspended. So all of that we will be punishing Pakistan, on that front, while we had decimated their Air Force bases, which were logistic in terms of the frontal war that they were doing in LOC. We have also ensured that many military terrorist hideouts were also decimated. One thing India has made it very clear, any act of terror will be an act of war as far as India is concerned. But what, the situation is also evolving. We are responding in a very aggressive manner about the ceasefire violation that Pakistan did yesterday, and then onus is now on Pakistan and not on us. India being a country that is fast growing and also economically and in every sector of the world, we also ensure that there is a peace on our side. We also want stability in the region, because India being having an upper hand and also India leading on many fronts in the region, India would want that there will be stability, but not at the cost of peace, not when there is a terror strike.
India
on
has
the
made
soil
it clear that we are not the ones who are seeking a war. We are only targeting as far as when it comes to the crackdown on terrorism is concerned. And this is how India has given a response in retaliation to Pakistan, so that it knows it plays. Because one more attack, one more terror attack, and it would be considered as an act of war. This is something that is India and the Indian government has made it amply clear for the world to see. Let's in the meantime also speak of the Raksha Mantri as well. What we are getting to know that he too has been chairing crucial meetings to assess the security situation, where Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan and the Army Chief, all of them who are said to be present for this meeting. And this is important as far as Pradeep, because the Tri-Services Chiefs in their previous meetings were seen in their combats. And that exactly gave the situation of how grave it is, and how the government, with coordination with our forces as well, have been working together to give this non-entity known as Pakistan a befitting reply.
Yes, Amita, you are absolutely right. When the last meeting was held day before yesterday, all services chiefs were in combat. Yes, that only shows that how seriously they were taking the matter and looking after the things and developments there on the ground, because they had been in touch with their commanders there on the ground, and they were briefing Prime Minister what exactly was happening. And you rightly said, short while back, there was a meeting between the CDS and Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan and Rajnath Singh. After that meeting, CDS left for the Prime Minister's residence. He was followed by Rajnath Singh, also the Defence Minister. Right now, Rajnath Singh is present there, Tri-Services Chief, and National Security Advisor, and they'll be discussing various pros and cons, what really happened after ceasefire violation, how Pakistan treachery once again was completely exposed and betrayal was also exposed. And that was for the world to see, that you can't trust Pakistan. See, within 2 hours, they were able to go back on their words, because they had promised for the ceasefire, because they desperately wanted that ceasefire. And for that, they had been begging to all the countries, including United States of America. It was only when the DGMO called on the hotline, India agreed to the ceasefire, because India has already attained its military objective. India never ever wanted to escalate situation, never wanted to climb that escalation ladder, which India had already maintained. They said we'll be going after the terror hideout, terror launch pads and terror infrastructure, and the person who are really responsible for the terror-related act, and they did it within 25 minutes, carrying out the strike with 24 missiles that were fired, and in more than 100 terrorists killed, and 9 of those terror dead, including Lashkar-e-Taiba headquarters, Murid-K, as well as Jaish-e-Mohammed's headquarters, Bahawalpur, that was completely decimated and demolished. What really happened afterwards? Pakistan was rattled, because all these years they had been protecting their assets, those terror assets whom they had been using against India. So finally, rattled Pakistan, opened mouths of their gun. They started
Pakistan clearly seems to have lost the plot ever since, when it comes to the battering that it got from India's side, when it comes to its key air bases that were completely destroyed. And that is why, bickering for help and for ceasefire, we're looking at how the DGMO there dialed the Indian side, its Indian counterpart, and then begged for talks and for ceasefire. This is the actual picture that is now coming across. Let me also introduce our guests also joining us here on the panel. Mr. Rajnath Singh is connected with us, so is Lieutenant General KJ Singh. Dr. Shalini Chawla is also connected with us. Good morning to all of you. Dr. Rajnath Singh, sir, what is your reading of all the developments that has happened in the last 12-14 hours, sir? The announcement that came in from the President of the United States even before the governments of both sides could confirm, then India talking about ceasefire, how Pakistan begged for ceasefire, and hours later Pakistan itself could not sustain that ceasefire.
Yes, we first hit the jihadi terror bases or main headquarters, and then we followed it up by declaring that any act of terror or jihadi attack will be construed as an act of war. So now it is to be seen, as you rightly said, the onus is on Pakistan military. And it will be interesting to see whether the Pakistan military can circumscribe or contain its jihadi terror infrastructure or not. If it is not able to contain, then of course it will be an act of war, and if it tries to circumscribe the terror outfits, then there will be so many Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. So both ways Pakistan had it. So to that extent, I think we have achieved our politico-military objective. We started with Uri, then we graduated to Balakot, and that time we just hit first time we hit terror launch pads, small terror launch pads. Then we hit a big terror base in Balakot, and now we have hit 3 jihadi bases: Hizbul Mujahideen, Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, all at the same time. So I suppose at the moment we have delivered a strong message, and if Pakistan does not behave, then we will treat this ceasefire as just a pause.
Well, that's the point, because the stoppage that has now been said, or this understanding or agreement, because it cannot be completely called as a ceasefire, because we know that this is a country, a rogue nation like Pakistan, that cannot be trusted. In fact, the example that has been said to the United States and other countries as well who had offered to mediate. But Lieutenant General Singh, sir, what is your understanding of the current situation? How India is different from the India of 1971 to India of 2025, sir?
Amita, let me use your highly popular channel to give one message. There is a ceasefire between 2 nations, but the munitions which are lying all around you, the cheap, low-cost drones and all which have been fired, which have partially exploded, please don't touch them. Don't go near them. please put sandbags all around them and call the nearest army unit, security establishment, and let them handle the thing. I see a lot of visuals, I get disturbed. I've been saying in all channels, please do not become expert in trying to take a video. One chap lost his life in Batinda. So your highly popular channel, seen by so many people, let this message go out. It is ceasefire, but that unexploded explosive doesn't follow that ceasefire. Please don't finger with it. Now coming back to your question. See, we obviously, it's very easy for us to sit here and articulate, I am so retired or re-attired. For our establishment, it's a huge, big challenge. We are a responsible nation. So, while we have to tackle the terrorism, we are forced to be reactive. So, first step always is with an irresponsible, irrational neighbor of us. So, first step was Pahalgam. Then we had to respond. Now, the choices were whether to do a localized kind of thing or to deliver a very potent message. I think we have delivered that message that Indian public has angst and we will have to get back at you. It's not a choice which government has. The public wants it that way. And when we get back at you, we will not distinguish between the seamless fusion that is there between these so-called tanzeems and military establishment.